I was very successful that the letter I wrote about the Hatzolah, thanks to the Hatzolah, was put in the Tribune, Jewish Tribune, Hamodia, news sheet, and update. Somebody asked me, how were you successful to get all four of them, and especially the news sheet, who never writes a letter, to print your letter? And I said, that is the art of Gaby Locke. If I want to buy you over, I know how to do it. And that's something I keep secret to myself, and I don't tell you how you are able to do that. That is the art of getting over, understanding people, what they're about, and how to get around them to do your way. That is a fantastic art, and it's something I cannot explain to people. Maybe even I could explain it, I don't know if I want to explain it. But every paper which you see wrote a letter difference. The only one who wrote the full letter was the news sheet. The Update cut out something, the Hamodia cut out something, and the Jewish Tribune cut out something. Let me tell you what. Somebody wants to see my whole letter, he has to look into the news sheet. They printed the whole letter. The Update left out half of my letter, not half, the beginning half. That's where I said, in this piece, the Update left out. I want to put pen to paper and thank God and the Jewish people that we are living in a time where kindness and help is given when you are not well. A pity, especially this they left out, a pity this kindness is not there when we have to find schools for our children, or when people own property in the area and can help you young families find homes. They started their letter on Friday night, which comes afterwards, on Friday night at 8:59, where I had to call the Hatzolah. They didn't put that bit in, but because we only want to hear nice things about ourselves. So how did I get the letter printed? Because everything is nice about Hatzolah, they help, and how well they're educated in the Hatzolah services and everything else, and Ezra Mar, but that's what they print. They don't mind printing that, because that is nice. We don't want to, if we want to criticize, we've got to criticize always outside. We don't mix with the Goyish Welt and everything. When a mistake comes to us, it's nothing our fault, it's only the fault of other people who we are influenced by. That's where all these boys who dropouts come from. It's not our fault that we don't give a kiss and a hug to the children. This comes from just boys grow up in this society around us with the goyim and their influence. But it's not really true. I've talked to a lot of people who the reason they've dropped out is because there was no kindness and care given. I know in Ger Chasidis, I wouldn't survive in Ger Chasidis if I needed kindness from the other Ger Chasidim. There's no kindness, there is no warm-heartingly and thing. They would rather have me, I should be a Scheigitz Gumme and not learn a Yiddish word. They can't stand it that I learn. But that's another story for another time. Let's go now to the Hamodia. What did they leave out? Hamodia left out only a pity this kindness is not there when we have to find schools for our children, or when people own property in the area and can help young families find homes. That's what Hamodia left out. Why? Because they don't want to chap the Gevir, who's got the houses, who's got property in the area, and he won't earn as much. We need the Gevir to earn more and more and more. That's what his aim is. We mustn't touch him, we mustn't hurt him. But they put the letter in, and quite kindly, because I'm good with Hamodia, and the letter was a good letter. It was a credit letter to our society. That's all they want to hear. We go back always to the same point, and all they want to hear is credit. And it's very simple. If you write a credit letter to Hamodia, news sheet, news update, the Jewish Tribune, it will get in. If you write criticism of our society, it'll never get in. Let's go now to the Jewish Tribune. What did they put in? What did they leave out? Of course, the Tribune left out, like the Hamodia, the top line where I criticized the schools and the property owners, but they left out another sentence which the others didn't leave out, and that was in the bottom, which I say, next to my wife, there was a very old English Jewish lady. The first day she did not order a kosher meal. I just observed it and did not say a word. After the ladies had left, she asked for a kosher meal. She only asked, we mustn't talk about the friar. That's what Itza Simmons, exactly what Zimmerman's influence is on the Jewish Tribune. Itza Simmons, brings to Johnsfeld Square Chief Rabbi Sachs, Dr. Sachs, Immanuel Yakovlevich. Their society, yes, they're just as good Yidden as we are. Don't talk silly. They're not as good Yidden as we are. They eat chazit treif. They couldn't care less. They're ignorant. They know nothing. And we have to influence them when we show them that you mustn't hurt them. You must try and do it in a kind way where they're going to listen to you. But just by being kind to them, and the Satmar ladies being kind to them, and me being kind to her husband, and my wife talking to her, just saying hello, yes, and talking to her about how she feels and everything, caring about her a bit, showed her that other Yidden are interested in her, and she became nearer to the Jewish nation, and the next day she ordered a kosher meal. But we mustn't say that. We mustn't say that the United Synagogues are a lot of Chazar Treifnikers, and they join the Board of Deputies of Chazar Treifnikers. They've got reform, and they've got 40, in a Jewish Tribune last week, not a Jewish Tribune, London Jewish News, 44% of the Jewish people of the United Synagogues marry out. And this is a terrible situation. But if we cover up, if covering up is our aim, which I'm trying to show in this, by writing this letter and signing it, that cover up is not necessary in life. You don't make yourself, and if you're not well, that's a situation God has given you, and the Rebbe will help. You'll overcome it, and you'll live till 120. And the Rebbe will help every situation, whether you're all the situation of Anias, if you're poor, the situation of Ashiras, the situation. Somebody said to me, "Well, you're not a Oisha." I said, "But I'm a Oisha maybe in Seichel. Maybe I'm not a Oisha in money." But I'm Oisha in Seichel. How many people are poor in Seichel? And uni elobedas, that people who haven't got any brains to understand. I'm a Oisha in Seichel, that I'm not embarrassed at my situation in life, because I know and believe everything comes from the Rebbe Shalom. You will say, "Oh, you're not such a from you. Sometimes you don't keep everything." That's the test. That's the fight. That's the battle you have in life. You always have a battle of how to keep the Torah, how much to keep and how much. The English Jews also have it, but we can't ignore the fact that these English Jewish people who marry out and don't have a Jewish education, which Mr. Pearl has seen to do and make that they should have a Jewish education. And years ago they didn't have so much a Jewish education. It was only Chayda, and all they got was a hit. We didn't give them loving kindness. Believe me, you show these English Jewish people a bit of loving kindness, loving and kindness, they turn to you back and are so pleased to be a Yid. I went collecting money in